What's up guys? Okay, welcome again for PR Education. So today's most interesting day. So today we are going to talk about Linux command line. That's the most important part of the in Linux series. Alright, so let's move on. Alright, so in the Linux, when you get hand into Linux operating system, there's a two options you can choose. One is a graphical user interface and second one is command line interface. The graphical user interface mostly comes with a desktop variants of any of Linux distros, right? So if you are getting hand into Ubuntu, maybe Red Hat, CentOS, and even Kali Linux, Parrots, those are graphical user interface. They have some variants because we can interact into icons, right? And we can interact into just like browsers and so many graphical things. That's mostly comes with the Linux desktop versions. But there's some other parts. It's a command line interface. And if I talk about the command line interface, most of times the servers comes in the command line interface. So whenever you boot up any of Linux servers, it will be show up like this. This is a Ubuntu server. So whenever you boot up, you are not getting interact into graphical user interface. It's overall command line interface. So you cannot see anything, any icons. So just you getting into the Linux command line. Alright, so let me move into my Linux desktop variant. So today I'm going to use Ubuntu Linux. So before that, I want to show you something. So today our lesson almost going on the Linux command line. So yeah, I had to use Linux server, but I most like to use a Linux desktop distro like Ubuntu. Here, when you prompt into Linux terminal, so like this one, we are calling Linux terminal, right? So first one, I will show you again. Username, you are able to see username. You can choose your whatever your username, and then hostname. Hostname you can also change. It's sometimes different from the every distros. And shell prompt. The shell prompt is just like it's actually blinking, right? Type me something here. I am blinking. You can type me here, something like that. And then you are able to see I have highlighted red box, right? One is a $sign and it's a hash. So whenever you open the Linux terminal, if you see something like that $sign, it means you are in a regular user, right? But if you are in a hash, whenever you see hash value instead of $sign, it means you log in as a root user, right? That's a different thing. Alright, so let's move into my Ubuntu Linux, and we have to do some commands in that Linux terminal. Okay, let's go ahead. Alright, so I already created a Linux operating system on my VMware workstation. So actually this is the thing. So if you feel like you want to use Linux as your main operating system, right? You can download from the main website as a ISA image. So then you can install it as a normal Windows operating system installation. But some of the steps are so much different, so you need to work through every steps. So as you are getting into the, just like let's say you are network engineer or pen tester or something like that, so you need to actually work with the virtualization. So here I am using Ubuntu as a VMware image, right? It's mean virtual appliance. So it's mean you can also try to install VirtualBox and VMware into your operating system, and you can boot your any of Linux operating system as a virtual appliance. So let's log into my Ubuntu Linux desktop version. Alright, so let me log in. Alright, so this is how look like Ubuntu latest version. So here I able to see some applications here, and if I need to go more applications, I can click here, show applications. It's look like this. And then alright, so since we are talking about Linux terminal and Linux command line, yes, so I will show you how to open Linux terminal in several ways. There's a lot of ways, but this is something like basic way. In the desktop, here's the desktop. You can right click and click open in terminal, right? So this terminal open on the desktop, right here, desktop, and then let me close it, and from here you can also open Linux terminal, right? But now in here it's not show up the desktop, but in but when I open from the desktop, it show up the desktop. I will explain you these things in later. Okay, so let's go ahead. Alright, so let me zoom in, because otherwise you cannot able to see the proper commands. I think this is look better. So okay, let me again enter, click enter. Okay, here is a blinking, so it's mean it says please go ahead, type something, I'm waiting for you. Alright, so let me explain again what are the things in this here. Alright, so in here, okay, let me close this again. Alright, so in here, this one is a username. Here the username is Ubuntu, right? This one is a username, and this one after @, this one it's a host name, right? This is a host name, this is username, right? And this one show me I am in a regular user because of $sign, right? And then this one is a shell prompt. My writing is so bad, but whatever. Alright, so and then most important part, this one is a tilde, right? Something like this is a tilde. This one show me up I am in a home directory, right? In the Linux operating system, when I open in the Linux terminal, if you see something like this, the tilde icon, it's mean you are in a home directory. Okay, so let's move on our few of Linux commands. So most basic Linux commands. Let me clear my screen first. Alright, so first command is we can use ls. ls mean list, right? If you want to see the files in there, right, I mean you need to find out what are the files, folders and executables, those kind of things, then you can choose, you can run the command ls. If I run the command ls, here you are able to see several files, right? In the green, here you are able to see some of them. In the white color is the text files, and also you are able to see some of them in the green and also PDF files, and the folders you are able to see in the blue color, and executables you are able to see something just like hello.sh, it's a bash script, and those kind of things in the green color. But whenever you in the you also able to see in the server side, right? If you open the Ubuntu server, you are able to see something in the color changes, right? It's actually quite nice because we can identify this was a folder, this was executable, something like that. Alright, so let's run second command, uname. Right, uname mean show me the Unix name, what operating system is using, right? So actually we input standard input, right? This is standard input, and whenever I enter, so we actually execute the command, right? So let me enter here. I am using Linux, so it's mean, so it's actually not quite nice, right? Because we already know we are using Linux actually. Okay, so and the thing is, it gives us the standard output. And let's say you forget something, you have entered previous command, right? We have a nice command history. Here you are able to see what are the commands you have entered in previous time, right? Command is history. And let's say here we have entered several commands, but now we need to clear this screen. Then you can enter clear command. Alright. Okay, so here's the thing. So whenever I enter, I just type ls uname, just send me a basic info. Sometimes it's useful, sometimes not. So in Linux operating system, we can use options and for specific arguments, right? Let me explain again. So let's back into my slides before we enter into the options and argument. Let's go ahead for my slide. Alright, so basically whenever using the commands, so the simple commands actually it's useful but not much, because we need some more. So then we can use specific options and arguments, right? So the commands, we enter the command, so then actually we can use options, right? For the options, actually we can provide more thing to do with the commands, right? And the arguments mean, let's say, alright, so you are doing something here, that's nice, actually that's nice, buddy, but I wanna run it on other directory, right? So in Linux operating system, there's a some of the directories, right? So I wanna run a specific directory, right? Here you are able to see the first command is ls, and second I input the options, specific options, and then argument. Okay, let's again back into my Linux operating system. Alright, so let me type uname, and I now am put -a, right? At first command you are able to see in previous time we just simply put uname, and it standard output to Linux, but in the our first command here you will see uname -a. In there you will be able to see the what is the operating system you are using is a Linux, and then host name and the kernel version, and I am using 64-bit operating system. So those kind of things we can actually use. So keep in mind, so whenever you didn't, I just simply put something into the so more interesting. So here something just like if you encounter into some old operating system, whenever you see the kernel version is lower than, so then you can find out the what are the vulnerabilities behind this kernel version. So then you can actually exploit, I mean you can do the privilege escalation and yeah, remote code execution, those kind of things based on the like these commands. Actually these most handful whenever you do something, actually no, not just hacking or something like this. So whenever you encounter into the Linux usage, this is quite useful command. Alright, and the next question is, so you will, yeah, actually I remember these things, these command, these options, but whenever you enter into the, yeah, the Linux world, so you might think, so my god, how do I remember this everything, right? So actually there's a sometimes I'm also not able to remember everything, so I need to do add some Linux command here. So every Linux operating system we can use man, right? It's main manual. So I need to pull the documentation of the command, right? So man uname, right? In here whenever you enter this man command, in front of any command I able to get the manual. Here uname is a print system information. Here I enter -a, it means all, print all information in the following order except omit -p and -i if unknown, right? If I scroll down here, so here you will be able to see something quite useful. Yeah, that's the thing, you can use man. Alright, let's put man ls. Here ls is a list directory contents. So whenever you enter into the Linux, so if you need to more learn about this Linux command, I suggest to use, if you can use the man. Okay, so you know our first command is ls. So ls is mean data listing, it's mean file listing. So it says from the here I can't able to see some useful information, so I need to add something more. So I can put ls-l, right? -l mean longer listing format. I need to check longer listing format. Let's enter. Alright, in here you will be able to see several items, right? in several items as a long listing. Okay, in here you were able to see file permissions. Right here you are able to see file permissions and file size, and it's a directory actually. So if I back to this one, it's a hack tool zip, you are able to see it's a file permissions and usernames and user owner of this file and the file size, right, and date, time, and so this is the file size. Yeah, these are the file size. Let me circle it. The file size is always like this, always show you up bytes, right? This file size is showing up as a bytes value. Okay, so let me clear. Okay, so and then okay, you can also use some other commands. So in here you cannot able to see hidden files. What are the hidden files, right? So like these basic commands you cannot able to see, then we need to add another option. Let's see, ls-l-a. In here you able to see, right, in here you able to see hidden files. So whenever something start from dot, it's me, it's hidden file, right? Here it's a I am hidden file. Let's create one of the hidden file. Alright, so right now I'm going to use touch command. So touch command is basically we can use for touch command to create empty files. Right now I am not going to put, let's say, okay, so cybersecurity. So cybersecurity.txt. Right, okay, let's create just touch cybersecurity 1, right, and then let's add the command ls-l. Right, here we are able to see cybersecurity 1. Okay. Again you can go ahead for your previous command by up arrow, and let's put cybersecurity 2 and ls-l. In here actually you can able to see cybersecurity 2 also. Let's create our second one, something different. Okay, 3, but right now I'm going to put dot ls-l. Let's see. Okay, right now I cannot able to see cybersecurity 3 because it's a hidden file. How do we check? ls-l-a. Right now I able to see hidden file. So don't misunderstand it, this is not actually hide your files, right? So whenever you enter the -l-a, so anyone can look into your files. So and so you can combine each options together like this. So we have first command something like this, but we can also use ls-la like this. It's the same output, nothing change. The most craziest thing is a bytes. Actually these values are in bytes, so whenever you encounter some investigation, so like this, or maybe you are going to hack something just like Linux operating system, so you need to find out something more special, something more right, most interesting file you need to exfiltrate, or something like more need to investigate. So if I go into defensive side, then let's say it's a malware file, there's something different between the file sizes, then you can find out what is the anomaly file size, something like that. So this is the thing. So these are the byte size. So we are humans, so we need human readable format. So as we are dealing with megabytes, kilobytes, gigabytes. So this option, we can use ls-la and h, right? This is nice. Right. So in here, the cybersecurity one is a 0. It's mean nothing wrote in there, so it's 0. So in here it's a 4K, so I mean 4 kilobyte, and here the Hacktool zip, this one, right? It's a 839 megabyte, right? That's the thing. So right now, right in this here, we simply able to see the packet size, I mean file size as a megabyte, gigabyte in the human readable format, right? So if you see something like this, just like say it's a small size of files, it show you up as a bytes, right? So don't confuse. It's kilobyte 1, it's a K, and M is a megabyte 1. 0 means nothing there, right? Let me clear my screen. Okay. Alright, so we actually deal with in our home directory, right? So let's say, okay, so how do you find where are you in? Let's say whenever you open your terminal in somewhere else, so you need to find out. So let's say you are lost, right? You need to find out where are you in. So we can use the command pwd. It's mean present working directory, right? It's mean I am in home directory. Whenever you see the tilde sign, it's mean we are in the home directory. Okay, now I am moving to other directory, right? So directory means a folder. Let's say the folder, so I need to move into other folder. This means directory. So use directory word, right? So get into more professional into Linux. So let's say it's a directory. Okay, so I can use command cd. It's mean change directory. So if you don't know, man cd. So no manual entry for cd. So never mind. So cd means change directory. Let me going for this root directory like this. Here it's again change. Here tilde icon to other sign is mean and the root sign. So I am in the root directory. Let me ls. Here these are the directories in the root. So let's move into var directory, cd var, right, like this. So let's say there's a thing, there's a long text, you will able to see something like the long text directories, files. So you can simply enter first or second characters, then hit tab. It's autocomplete, right? And then enter, and then let's say pwd. Okay, I am in var directory, so I can enter ls. Okay, so let's say you need to move into the home directory, right? For that one, you can enter cd and tilde, right? From here you can jump to home directory. Here is jump and pwd. Okay, I am in now home directory, so let's ls. Here we jump into home directory, cd tilde. Okay, and then there's other commands, something just like echo. Let's say hello world. Right, so echo is used for to show text in screen, right? Also we use echo to put data into file, right? So yeah, then let's move into the so you know the touch command, right? So touch command, let's move into the document directory, right? Okay, cd documents, you know how to do, right? Now I am in home directory, documents directory. Okay, let me clear. You already know touch command. Touch command is a create empty files. So let's say file 1.txt, file 2.txt. Okay, so let's say you need to copy something into the file 2, so then you can use file cp1, then there's a command copy cp file 1.txt to file, let's say 3.txt, right? So there's again file 3.txt. This means the contents in the file 1.txt completely move into file from here. This is the source, so you in here from the cp, I mean copy command, here the source, destination. So you need to specify what is the source and what is the destination. Here this is the source and this is a destination. Okay, alright, so and then I need to show you the other command. So let's say you need to copy, I am going to ls copy this file 1.txt into, I can say download directory, right? Then I can simply put tilde, because we already know it's a home directory, and then downloads, right? Let's move into downloads. So this is the thing, you don't want to move into something like cd and then again move into the previous folder, and then you can enter like this and tilde, and you can go ahead to the home directory and then again move download. But never mind, you can use ls download. Here is copied into the download directory, file 1.txt, right? Alright, so let's say you need to move, I mean you need to simply move, not copy it, move. We can use mv. Let's say there is a manual. Yes, there is a manual. So here we need to specify specific options, or maybe source and destination, and yeah, it's a move files and renames. You can also rename. Let's rename file 2.txt. Okay, let's move, I mean, yeah, ls. I need to change my file 2.txt into file 2.txt, into something just like preducation.txt. Okay, let's ls. Okay, now there's a no more file2.tsc. Now there's a pr_education.txt. So now I need to move this pr_education.txt into download directory. So let's say move pr_education into downloads. Let's say ls. There's a no more pr_education here. So let's ls for download. Okay, now there is a pr_education.txt. Alright, so then let's move into our other commands. I mean, so this is the thing. Let's say whenever you need to edit your file, I mean it could be bash script, maybe Python script, something like that. So this is the thing. So whenever you, I mean, I would like to talk in the pen testing side. So whenever you most times getting interacting to Linux shell, let's say you exploit the by using web shell for one of the Linux server. So you getting interacting to the Linux shell, I mean the simply command line. So let's say you need to add some, let's say you need to write something malicious script on the other server. So then you need to edit the file, right? In here there's a file1.txt, right? In the Linux operating system we can edit any files in the command line, right? Actually the thing is, so you are using desktop version, you can also use some text editors, but the graphical text editors. So but basically since we are learning the Linux command line, so we in the Linux we have two choice. One is Y editor, some people call VI editor, V editor, Y editor, right? And other one is nano editor. That's my favorite one. Actually Y is the most powerful one. Actually, yeah, nano is also can be used. So Y editor is always anywhere, everywhere, but nano is sometimes there's a nano, sometimes not. So you need to getting hand into both, right? So let's move into Y editor. So you can simply type Y. So let's say there's a Y man. Oh, yep. Here you have the programmer text editor. So yeah, vim y, yep. So yep, you can write like this. So here the documentation. So let's say Y file 1.txt. Okay, it is something like this. Here in the bottom line you will see 0 lines, 0 characters. So Y is something difficult, you need to more learn. So like this, whenever you get into here, you cannot type anything. The thing is, you need to going into interactive mode, I mean insert mode, right? Then you can type. Then I mean you need to press I in your keyboard, right? Let's say hello, welcome to the PR education, right? And then how do we save? In later I will create some tutorial for how to use in advanced edition as how to use V editor. So let's see how to save. You need to press ESC key, right, and then shift colon, right, and then W, Q. W mean write and Q mean quit, right? Let's see what are the things in there. So if you need to, what are the contents in the text file, any file, you can there's a command cat, right? You can view the contents in the file. Cat file1.txt here. Hello, welcome to the PR Education. Okay, so let's use my other text editor, so Nano. So we have file3.txt. Let's create Nano. So you can also see the documentation Nano, another editor inspired by Pico. So let's enter Nano and file3.txt. Right. This is the most easiest text editor in the Linux environment. So hello again, welcome to PR Education. Let's learn Nano. Right, to save this you can Control O and enter, and then to exit Control X. Right, so how to view that content? So you can simply type cat file3.txt. Right, hello, welcome to Education. Let's learn Nano. Okay, so you can remove file, so you cannot actually again get into that file. You can simply type rm in remove file .txt. So you cannot able to see file1.txt. And you can also rm. I think there is a manual. Yep, remove file or directories. Okay, let me back into the home directory first. Alright, so let's say you have some long listing text. I mean long listing. So whenever you encounter into the in the, let's say sometimes you will be able to analyze the log files, right? So you can also use the Linux command line, but there is some basic command. Let's say this blacklist.txt. Let me see how many lines in there. wc-l blacklist. Right, there is 4568 lines in the blacklist.txt. Right, actually I used another command, actually wc. So it's you can the man wc, right, print new line word by counts for each file. Right, you can use that wc command to list down how many lines in there. I choose as option as a -l. Right, there's a 4000, more than 4000 lines in the blacklist.txt. Actually it's containing a malicious IP address. So actually I can cat, but there's a lot. Right, so there's a commands. You can choose more command, more. Right, here you can simply enter. So this is IP state intelligence feed. Here you can enter, you can buy one by one. Right, if I enter here, you can see one by one. Let me exit here. The same command is a less. Right, the same thing. Let me exit here, and let's say there's a file. You need to check first 10 lines of that file. So you can put head blacklist. So this is the first 10 line. If you need to specify specific lines, then you can type head-n blacklist ta.txt. I need to enter the value. Okay, let's say 20. Yeah, these are the first 20 value, first 20 lines, right? The first 20. So let's say you need to check the bottom line of the lines, right? Then you can use the tail command. tail blacklist. So whenever you enter the command, only command is show you up the default value, default line as a 10 lines. So if you need to specify something more, then you need to type -n -20 or something like that, 50 30, let's say 25 blacklist.txt. okay, this is the last 25 lines in the blacklist.txt file. Alright, so I hope you learned more bit about, not a bit, I think you know overall what is the condition in the, how to use the Linux commands. So there's actually a lot, so I cannot teach you in every single commands in here. So you need to learn, you need to improve your Linux knowledge, right? So there is something cool website. Let me show you. Okay, so there's a website called cmdchallenge.com. It's more like a CTF based command line challenge. Actually in here you able to learn every possible Linux commands in here. Actually it's just like a game. So I will continue a few of these. Your first challenge is to print hello world on the terminal in the single command. Actually also if you don't know it really, you can click the view solution. Here it's echo hello world. Hit enter, right? And then second one, print the current working directory, pwd, right? And list names of all the files in the current directory, 1 files per line. Let's put a list, ls. Yep, then there is a file name access.log and we're going to print the content. So we know cat access.log. Alright, so yeah, print the last file lines of the access log. So actually this is the thing here, you can learn the Linux commands as a fun of things, right? So I hope you enjoy so much well. So see you in my next video. Have a nice day. Good luck.